Hey, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Battlestar Galactica Deadlock Resurrection. I'm going to hit up Mission 6 in the 10 mission campaign now and play through that. So let's get a little bit of insight in what we have to do.
Scouts got back 15 ago. They found unidentified fighters abandoned at the recon zone. Not Colonial and not Cylon that we can tell either. No other contacts at the site, but one of the ECOs reported another instance of the frequency. He's currently with Caudle for severe headaches.
I'm gonna need more than that, Lieutenant.
We might be able to hone in on the transmission if we make adjustments to the Raptor's narrowband receivers. Then it'd just be a matter of getting it to the right place to intercept. And hope the crew doesn't lose their hearing.
Do it. And the unidentified birds?
We don't really know, sir. No radiological readings, no sign of biological contamination. Intel suggests we eyeball run them and see what the Cylons left behind.
So we're off to find some new fighters. Now you cannot help but draw similarities between this model of fighter and the Buck Rogers Thunder Fighter from Buck Rogers in the 25th century, starring Gilgrad and Erin Gray. Now back when the original concepts of Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers and Star Wars were out there, artists were few and far between. Concept artists were very few and far between. And there was an awful lot of crossover where one design was rejected by one director, for example, say the X-Wing fighter. There was the Thunder Fighter. Now this Taipan is head and shoulders following that mantra there, you know. It is every little bit, I think, similar to the Thunder Fighter from Buck Rogers. Anyway, we're off to find these within Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, and that suits me fine, because this now stands to be Mission 6 of the 10 mission campaign. So, with all that being said, let's get out there and see if we can decode these signals with our special Raptor and find these fighters, and then we'll see what it's actually like in the game. Okay, so let's get this loaded up and get this running. So, while the mission is loading, we've got to rock in there, we've got to decode this signal. This signal's then going to lead us to another location, where no doubt there'll be another signal for Mission 7. And after Mission 7, then we're going to get our hands on the blueprints for the Taipan fighter. Now, quite interesting with that Taipan fighter. It's not very powerful. Don't know why we'd want it. Especially when you look at the stats. But hey, there you go. So, here's the mission prerequisites. We could have Galactica there in the mission. We're in Cylon territory, deep in Cylon territory. What have I got? I've got 2 Jupiter 2 Mark II Battlestars, and I've got a Minerva Battlestar for the heavy guns, and I've got a little frigate, a little adamant frigate. So it's my hope those 4 ships are going to have enough firepower to combat the Cylon threat. Now, very graphical this one, lots of nebulas, lots of green gassy clouds. It's going to be a nice, enjoyable thing to watch. Okay, here we go. Really should put this on an SSD. We're jumping.
No contact on Dratus. We're alone out here for now.
Launch Raptors. And get me a camera with Mark I eyeball on those abandoned fighters. I want to see these birds for myself.
Launch Raptors. So we're going to send our Raptor off. So that's the marker we got to send our Raptor to. I'm going to send the fleet in as well, just give it additional support.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to hit the boosters and we're going to rock on a little bit closer to our destination. And we're going to launch all squadrons and give that Viper some much needed support. Because it's not going to be long before the old toasters turn up. Now, in addition to your normal Raptors, you're also given another Raptor squadron. A signal squadron. Now, you can't do anything with this other than move it to the marker. And it is mission critical. So if it gets destroyed, it gets shot, well, that's it. Mission over. Same as that, you know, if Galactica gets shot, destroyed, mission over. So the idea is to get that Raptor squadron and move it directly over to that marker. Now we know how these things are going to go. As soon as you get to a certain point, the Cylons are going to jump in. And hey, why wouldn't they? So, all well and good. And you can see it's trying to code the best thing for this signal. The idea is to get this signal, triangulate, and then move on to the next one. So it won't take long before we get over there. So once we're over to that one particular section, We'll get our Vipers in support. Here come the Cylons, as anticipated. Quite a few Cylons.
All IFFs are hostile, bearing on the fleet.
Oh no, they're bearing on the fleet. Oh well, we'll have to shoot them then. What do you think? But if you like what you're seeing so far, hit that like and subscribe button, and also check out that notification icon, and that'll let you know when I'm putting more Battlestar Galactica Deadlock Resurrection videos and other DLC from the Deadlock Season 1 on YouTube. Lots there in the old back catalogue. But anyway, enough of that. So say we all. Let's get cracking. So we're going to move those now to give that Raptor Squadron a little bit of support, and we're going to engage them head on. Now, our little Raptor Squadron is going to fly right into danger. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Cylon ships over to the left, and 1, 2, 3 over to, and he's launched. Yes, he's launched his Cylon Raiders.
Can't even find an IFF transponder, and I've never seen a colonial fighter that looks like that.
They don't look Cylon either.
They're Cabolian.
Oh, the other one. It's got knobs on.
The Lord of
Yeah, we got a bit of history.
Twin of Fang. Because of them, his sister refused, for their venom made her prey inedible.
Oh, talky. Yes, they're from the original Cobalt settlers. That's all we need to know, really.
Come from Galleon.
It's a bit dangerous, don't you think, having one of the Marine Sergeant as one of those militants. Anyway, so let's move some Battlestars off to go and engage, whilst also providing some cover against the others as well. Let's get them taken out with the big guns, get them lashing the ships with the guns, and then using our missile batteries, and all these ships have got missile batteries as well, to take out some of the bigger ships, whilst we then reposition and then go and engage those ones on the left-hand side of the screen. And that seems to be my working strategy at the moment, which is all well and good. So missiles are coming in. Of course, we've launched, so I've got Vipers right in the way, so we can have to absorb those hits while we start pounding those other Cylon ships.
So say we all.
Just do a little bit of adjustment so we don't crash into each other, because that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? I'm in Everett, going to lay down some flak on the left-hand side, because our squadrons are typically out of the way there, so we should be able to fend off that long-range guided missile battery from the left-hand side and the left-hand Cylons, while we're getting that scan sorted out with that SIG Viper. Now, there you go, that Revenant has taken a right pounding. He's going to be gone now. All our planes on the right-hand side of the screen, engaging the ships. Focus fire on that Arachne. They won't last very long. And there's a Phobos that I didn't see over on the right-hand side. So, no dramas. Armin Ever is still fending off missiles from the left-hand side. We're nearly in position. Raptor squadrons, they're ignoring it, which is good. Because again, that would be embarrassing. So we're going to take out that Cylon threat, and then once we have, we're going to swing around with our big guns, and we're going to take the other ones out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to then start pursuing that Phobos, because that could really spoil my day, because they're sneaky ships. Not particularly highly armoured, I would say. But, you know, they tend to sneak up on you, and then you think, where are all these missiles coming from? So, we're going to take that out as well. Now, I'm going to have a collision here if I don't try and adjust elevations somehow. So that'll be our missile defence. Move that one up, move that one down. Circle him around, bring some guns to bear.
Yes, sir.
Nope, still not right.
Yes, Commander.
That should be okay. No, what am I doing? Right, there you go. Fantastic. I think we're on the money there. So we can move one out the way, bring our adamant frigate around, and then engage that Phobos. Fortunately, the other Cylon ships are still a way off. They can fire all the missiles they want. Use all the missiles. We've got a good flak screen going on over there. That's the Arachne taken out. Now it's time to turn our attention to the Phobos. Another Revenant and Phobos revealing themselves. Right. Sending our planes in to give it a good lashing as well as the guns from our capital ships as well. Our armory on the Galactica's taking a bit of a hit from that initial missile salvo. Of course, the armory is very important when using flak and having a flak screen. So I don't want to be too surprised and go through all of this and then end up losing my ship to a missile battery from those ships on the left-hand side because my armory is offline and I can't deploy a flak screen. Okay, so moving on. Going to leave our fighters to take the Phobos off, where we turn our bigger ships now directly towards the Cylon threat. That Minerva is still fending off missiles, a missile battery. What a ship. I do like those ships. It's just a shame they're not more heavily armoured. But they are a Battlestar Light, which is, you know, it's advertised, you know, on the in the blueprint section and the codex. So, you know, it's a Battlestar Light, lots of missile batteries. I like I've said before in my other videos, I really would have preferred to have 2 missile batteries on the Jupiter Mark II, not just guns. I mean, they've upgraded the guns on the bottom of the ship. Brilliant, you get an awful lot of firepower from the Jupiter II. But missiles is where it's at, especially for this game. So that Phobos is bitten the dust. And now it's time to redeploy our fighter squadrons and take some of those out. So we're going to have to move our Signal Viper to a new position, which we can see on the screen, in the middle of the screen there. Once we get this threat neutralized, and then once we've got that done, and taking all the Cylons out, mission over. But that waypoint update is quite important to note that, because you could typically miss it. Okay, more missiles coming in. We're going to absorb some hits there because we've got an awful lot of ships in the area. Try and close some distance as well between and get the big guns on it. Lots going on in this mission. Lots going on. Actually, we can give some Cylons the benefit of our missiles. And that's the thing with this game. You can lose hours on it. Typically a mission should run for about 15 minutes. You get into a right mess and you've got to deploy cunning tactics. That can go to 30 minutes. Now I'm playing this on the commander level. And as a result of this, you know, I get veterancy and what have you. If you play it on the earlier levels, then by default you don't get this. What I'm not playing with is permanent damage. Because, hey, why not? I like to go in there with a little bit of an advantage, and if you've got permanent damage and you've got to have all that stuff repaired, then, you know, it's just going to slow things down. And to be fair, at this level, I'll come back and I'll play it on Admiral and I'll turn all the functions on and have that real big challenge at a later date. So we're firing off some more missiles. Cylons are being destroyed. One yet to reveal itself. What could that be? 2 to reveal itself at the top there. Let's get that Signal Raptor squadron out the way as well. Get it protected by our Vipers. Use the rockets as well from the Raptors against some of the capital ships to wear them down. They're a really good way of wearing down capital ships' armour. So you can then keep lashing it then with your capital ship guns.
Salvo launch ready.
So far, so good. We've taken some hits here, so we're going to change the posture a little bit. Our hangars need repairing. I mean, that particular ship there, that Minerva, it's taken a pounding. It's done its job. It's provided a missile screen for the rest of the fleet while the Raptor went out there and got its thing. And that's what I like about Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. Ships for different roles. See, it is on fire. Big style. I think it's probably gonna... That's it, it's gone. Well, it did its job. It did its job.
Recording the transmission.
So you've got the update from the voice acted sequence now that the Raptor has done its job, it's got its sequence, and now the idea is just to move it out of the way, and what we can do now is use our remaining ships to take out the remaining cylon threat. Especially that one particular ship that hasn't revealed itself yet. We're going to fly directly at it, let the guns at it, and then we can all move on with our lives. So a good mission this. Not what exactly call exciting, but it was a good mission. With all these missions, you are given the impression that the colonial fleet is on the back foot. They are scrabbling for a foothold. And it says, in the trailer, we are losing. The Cylons are everywhere. In a way, I wish we weren't just limited to 8,000 command points as a maximum. I think it could be double that. Quite easy to have a massive armada going on these battles. Shame we cannot mod it to increase that. That's what I like some of the old Command and Conquer games. The old Command and Conquer games were great because you didn't seem to be limited to how many units you had. And all those games there basically were stemming from games like Stonkers on the 48K Spectrum, which is a fantastic elementary game, really, strategy game, all in 48K. Of course, you've got Command and Conquer being reimagined now and re-released, which I am looking forward to.
Got it.
Do like a bit of strategy, me. Cylon has still not revealed itself, and I'm taking massive hits. So we've got our 2 Jupiters left now. We've lost the other ships. Our frigate and our Minerva have gone. Still got planes in the air though, so that's pretty good. We're gonna head on straight in and see what we can do to combat this last remaining ship.
Yes,
Send the Vipers in. Recall the Raptors. Get them rearmed. And just send the Vipers straight in there to attack that ship. Okay, here we go. He's on the run, everybody. He's on the run. So we're going to chase directly after him and take that out. And once we do, he's gone. End of mission. Time for us now to play the FMV sequence to see how all that was done, reimagined in a movie. I just realised I'm not all done. I've got a Hydra to shoot. But I'm not too bothered about that. That'll take 1 round perhaps. Nothing else has jumped in. Send some missiles off just in case. Oh, that Hydra's gone. Hey, who cares? Well, let's get that FMV sequence going and see what all that's about. We've got a bit of talky bit now.
Kabolian fighters.
If that's what they are.
We'll find out soon enough. In the meantime, get intel to analyze the recording and see if we can get any clues from this new instance of the transmission.
So they're typically saying, yes, Kabolian fighters. Well, let's have a look at that FMV sequence.
Escort priority 1, still online.
Escort clearance zone is active.